Aloha, Monica here from monicaswanson.com, and boy, it's been over a year since my last YouTube video, and I'm really excited to get back to doing YouTube videos much more frequently. I'd love to promise some regular interval, but I'm just going to see how I can do getting back on here. I'm really excited because I've got so many things going on my blog, and I know some of you are regular visitors to my blog, but some of you aren't. So I just want to reach out and make sure that word is getting out to people in every way I can communicate. So I'm just super excited that you're here. I do hope that you subscribe to this blog on the little subscribe button there so that you don't miss anything. So let's see, I'm here on the North Shore of Oahu, and it is a beautiful day. I've got a couple kids out surfing, and I just have a few minutes, and I'm really excited to share with you what I'm doing currently on my blog, which is a 6-week series specifically addressing parenting teen and preteen boys. Now, if you've got younger kids, I promise you're going to be glad to tune into these because you can stick a few things in your back pocket. Some of it will be useful now. If you've got girls, I've been told that this stuff definitely is relevant to girls. I just don't claim to be a girl expert because I have 4 boys. And my boys are ages 16 down to 5. So right in the thick in the middle of a bunch of boys and teens and puberty and pre-puberty. So that's what I'm talking about for this 6-week series, and I'm really excited to dive in. I've done an introduction to it on my site, again, monicaswanson.com. I've also done the first 2 posts in the series, and it is getting just such great response. I am so excited. I'm mostly excited because I'm talking about some of the things that don't come up a whole lot online or anywhere. I'm trying not to be afraid of some of the sticky subjects, some of the more awkward things. They don't scare me. My husband's a doctor. He actually studied family practice. He works in a hospital now, but the 2 of us are pretty comfortable talking about this stuff. And so anyway, I just want to make sure that you jump in, tune in. If you don't have kids or you're not interested, please share it with those that do. I'm trying to really encourage and inspire parents to do some things to get things in line so that they have the best experience possible raising those teenage boys. I'm going to do just a quick run through what each of the first 2 posts are about, and then I'm going to highlight what's coming up here in the next 4 posts in the series. Just a little heads up, each post could be a series of its own. They are all so full and so packed, and I have so much passion and so much to say that I'm just having to cut myself short and make my points really concise because I really do have a lot I could say, a lot more I could say. So stay tuned because maybe this will lead to more of a series or a course or an ebook or something coming up in the future. But the introduction is worth tuning into, so if you can find that on my site, there's links to it on all these posts. I'll kind of give you a good outline for what to look for. But the first post in the series is actually talking about what to do before your son starts puberty. And guys, I just really, really beg you, not for my sake, but for your sake, please tune into that one. It is the foundation for all of the posts. So whether your son is 7 or 17, there's going to be helpful things in that first post in the series. I'm laying the foundation for things that in the busyness of life we might overlook. You might find that your 17-year-old, you know, maybe he's doing fine, maybe he's not, but you might realize there's something you maybe just kind of overlooked along the way. And I lay a foundation talking about some relationship things, some things that are more technical and maybe not as much fun, but I'm just going to run through those right here briefly so that you'll get an idea what's in that post. I do talk about the connection you have with your kid, with your son. Again, you can apply this to your daughter. Just building up that relationship, hopefully before puberty, being really open and honest. If your son or daughter is already a teenager and you don't feel connected, I see nothing wrong with just humbly saying, can we still build? Can we still connect? What can I do? Reaching out, because that relationship can make all the difference in the world to your teenager. So if possible, before they hit puberty, making that connection. I talk also in there about the SEX talk, which hopefully isn't a talk, but a series of talks. It's open communication. I refer to the resource that we've used, which is a book series actually that begins, I think, when they're like 5 years old. And it's just opening that, that conversation, making it very comfortable, taking away the shame, making sure that your kids know that you are a resource that can be, that kids can bring anything to you, and you're going to be comfortable talking to them. Sadly, you know, if you're not there to bring things up before they come up, then often kids will go to their peers And these days, kids will go online and start searching for answers to their questions, and that can be very scary. I'm sure you could guess what happens if a kid starts to Google search for some of the topics that might come up when they have curiosity. So I encourage you to beat them to it. And then that leads me to the next thing, which is just super, super near and dear to my heart, and that's getting internet filters on all devices if possible. I know a lot of people put this off. I put it off too. I thought, oh, it would just like make life difficult. It would get in the way of YouTube. It would like stop me from doing things. And the truth is, once I finally did it, it is not a problem at all. It was not that hard. It took a little time to get it set up, but it does not block me from doing things I want to do. And it's just been really it's given me peace of mind that I know my boys aren't going to stumble upon something, even if they're not looking. They're gonna just be kind of spared that concern of what they could stumble upon. And so the internet filters and filters on devices, super important. And then also talking about social media, gaming, all the things, all of the things. And a lot of parents I know are not interested. They don't want to know about games or apps, but if you let your kids be on them, I just really recommend you know what they're looking at. Do just that little, take the time, Google search, call a friend, look it up, read about it, and then decide which ones you're comfortable with and which ones you're not, because you don't have to say yes to everything. We've said no to quite a bit and nobody's suffered for it. So kind of just getting tuned into what they're doing, and then having the conversations too about social media, how it can be used positively. Obviously, I love social media. It's what I do all day, every day, but it can also be used, especially in the teenage years, to be really hurtful and cruel, and just it's not always a positive thing, unfortunately, but it can be used for positive means as well. So having the conversation, and again, all this keeps coming back to conversation, communication, and that connection with your teens and preteens. So that's just kind of a quick skim over some, but not all of the things in my pre-puberty post. Say that 10 times fast. Pre-puberty post. And that was just number 1 out of 6. And I'm telling you, when my 6 is done, I'm sure I'll have 6 more. I've received so many questions and thoughts and requests for topics. But the second topic that's up is also something I'm just super passionate about. I'm not even going to go into it right now, but if you jump onto my blog, it'll be right there, and it is kids and pornography. And I do have a guest post for that. I do the introduction, but somebody who wrote a book that I just absolutely fell in love with, and I'm so thankful for. It's called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures, and the authors wrote a guest post for me. This book is what we all needed. It's just wonderful because it helps guide us into a conversation with our children about pornography. What is pornography in a way that kids can understand? And honestly, it's quite scientific. Like, I learned so much about the brain, and I learned why porn is dangerous, and I learned how that addiction works, and yet it's written in a way that like an 8-year-old I think could understand. So I highly recommend everybody in the world gets that book if you've got kids. My 16-year-old read it to himself, and then we discussed it. I read it to my 11-year-old. So, you know, use it however you want, but definitely you'll want to get your hands on it and be aware. I talked about those internet filters, but like the book says, internet filters are not enough. Every kid will be exposed to pornography in one form or another. So we don't want to turn a blind eye or be in denial. We need to help teach them what to do when they see an image, how to handle that before it gets a grip on them. So that's just the second post, you guys, and then there's 4 more coming. So excited to dive into puberty itself, what's going to happen then, and how to deal with it, into dating, into you know, social pressures, peer pressure. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not holding back. I'm not afraid of the sticky topics. And so please spread the word and stick around. I'm going to try to come back in shorter YouTube videos in the future, but I am going to try to talk more here to cover, you know, really complement what I'm doing on my blog, give you maybe a little more insight. This is just a quick overview. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you'll subscribe to this YouTube channel and tell your friends about it too. I'm here for you. Would love to answer questions. So stick around. Aloha. Have an awesome day.